Saul's familiar with this path, and yet what he doesn't know is that the road to Damascus is changed. It's a space that's now inhabited by the wayfaring Spirit of the Lord, as Dr. Jennings would put it. Saul set out believing that he was the one who was pursuing, but it was really he who was being pursued by God. Saul meets Jesus, who arrives in shocking majesty. A light from heaven. It stops Saul and his traveling companions. It stops them in their tracks, knocks Saul to the ground. And then twice Jesus says that Saul is persecuting him. First time it's a question, why are you persecuting me? Second time he just says it, you persecuting me. Sometimes we ask questions we know the answer to, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm not really trying to ask this question. I'm just going to tell you what the business is. The word translated persecuting that's here in the English is actually the word hurting. He says, Saul, why are you hurting me? It's a good question. It's a massive question. But there's also an intimacy to it. Saul, why are you hurting me? Why are you... it's a question that's anchored in acquaintance and familiarity and even affection. The intimacy of the question, it exposes Saul's march to violence, and it requires a response. But yet the only honest and reasonable answer that Saul can afford is to simply stop the death-making path that he's on. Saul's not the only one that stopped in his tracks at this point. So too are we as readers. See, the thing is, Saul hasn't even, he's never met Jesus up until this point. Jesus has already ascended into heaven. Saul, he's participated in and witnessed the persecution of others, but he didn't do anything to Jesus personally. Yet here's Jesus identifying with those that Saul has hurt and maimed and killed. You're hurting me, Jesus says. Because hurt and pain and suffering and oppression and injustice, they always reach their final destination in the body of Jesus. The road of all pain in the world ultimately leads us to Christ's suffering on the cross. And that's what we mean when we wax theologically about Jesus taking on the sins of the world, those done by us and those done to us. Jesus' identification with those that are being oppressed and victimized is precisely why the church must always be located among the oppressed and the victimized, lest we run the risk of being more Saul-like than Christ-like.